Our next piece of music is by the great hymn writer Isaac Watts, When I Survey the Wondrous Cross, and it's performed for us by Prt2 SF in Anglesey.
When I survey the wondrous cross on which the Prince of Glory died, my richest gain I count but loss, and pour content on all my pride. See from his head, his hands, his feet, sorrow and love flow mingled down. Did such love and sorrow meet, or thorns compose so rich a crown, whether realm of nature mine, that were an offering far too small. Love so amazing, so divine, demands my soul, demands my soul. Love demands my soul, my life, my all.
The wall paintings here at St Albans Cathedral depict Christ's crucifixion. For centuries, artists have been inspired by the life, death and resurrection of Jesus. And here in Bridport, Dorset, local artists have come up with their own modern interpretations of the Stations of the Cross. The 15 paintings are on display in St Peter's Church and tell the story of Jesus' final journey to his crucifixion at Calvary. Reverend Philip Ringer recruited the local amateur artists.
I gave them the brief that every scene must be against a local backdrop. They must be in contemporary dress and, use your own imagination.
I chose this spot, the back of the brewery, because it's well known in Bridport, and I decided that Simon could perhaps be one of the brewery workers in their blue overalls, and instead of Roman soldiers coercing Simon to help carry the cross, that it could be community support workers. And I decided one of them should be a woman, because otherwise it would be all men in the picture. I thought perhaps Jesus could be modelled on a homeless person, and I really struggled with getting the agony of bearing the cross, because it suddenly seemed, when I was drawing it, such a large object, the cross, and I think that affected me a lot, actually, getting the idea that it was very, very heavy to bear.
It just gradually came to me that I couldn't possibly depict Jesus' face. I just found I was incapable of expressing in paint the anguish and the shame and the humiliation that he must have felt. But I purposely chose to paint people's hands in different colours to depict the fact that we're all guilty, we're all sinners, we're all involved in that picture in stripping Jesus. I've depicted Jesus taking his own jacket off because he wasn't just a victim. He knew that that was his Father's will, to go to the cross and die for us.
It is an abstract image. I wanted it to be quite modern because I wanted people to know the relevance of Christ on the cross. I wanted it to have lots of colour in it. I wanted it to represent every colour, caste and creed of humanity. And I wanted to have his coloured blood dripping down onto black and white outlines of people, and then where the colour is actually touching those people, it's filling their life with a brighter existence, so they're absorbing the colour of Christ's blood. If you look at the bottom of the cross, there's a tiny little snail which represents my own personal struggle to find my own faith. So it's a bit of an upward climb for me, but I'm definitely getting there.
I prayed about which picture I would paint, and this is what came. I painted Mary. I just knew I could identify with her because I'd lost a son 2 years previously, and she must have been in agony. I don't think I did quite represent that agony, but I tried. And she must have been so confused as well because she didn't know at that time that he would be raised from the dead. And she'd been asked by God to give birth to this baby who was going to be the Messiah, the Saviour of the world, and he'd been murdered. Losing a son is the worst possible thing, and it did challenge my faith, I have to be honest, to start with. But Jesus came alongside me and really carried me for a long time afterwards, and still is. Yeah.
I would hope that people might come to think that this is not something that happened 2,000 years ago, but it could happen now. It is happening now. People are struggling and bearing their loads, and I hope it will bring the Easter story and the Easter message home to everybody.
Oh, to see the dawn of the darkest day.